everybody's like, why don't you just coach college for a little bit? Well, I will, you know what I'm saying? I think I can do a couple years in college. But see, my thing is this, and I need to ask you firsthand because you do it, right? Recruiting has become so different than it was back in the day, right? I remember vividly, you know what I'm saying, when I was getting recruited out of high school, people coming to your house, you know what I'm saying, you getting phone calls, you know what I'm saying, wasn't no social media. So, you know, I remember vividly Baylor coming and sitting in my living room talking to me and my dad, you know what I'm saying, Texas Tech came, you know what I'm saying, like schools like that. All the Mississippi schools came, State and Ole Miss, and it was just different. You know what I'm saying? Like you would talk to these people, your coach would tell you, hey, oh, so-and-so called and asked about you, or hey, being in the locker room at this time, so-and-so's gonna call and want to talk to you this school. But now you got social media, right? You got Snapchat, you got Twitter, you got IG, right? So that process, and I tell people all the time, they're like, well, you should go coach college football. I'm like, I will, but for me, that recruiting just kind of burns me a little bit because I ain't really trying to kiss no kid's ass for 6 to 8 months, and then he be like, yeah, I'm finna go to SC, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so tell me how you cope with that, man. How is that like? Because I know how you are, right? You know what I'm saying? I know how you are. So tell me how you dealt with that. Tell me how that, you know, just run that down for me. I want to know personally. I ain't never really talked to nobody about it. I just know what I know. How'd that go, man?
It's a thin line. You know, you got to find a way to, like I always tell people, some of my best friends right now are 16, 17. They 15, you know what I'm saying? Like that's
right.
Like that's
right, exactly.
And it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like that's insane, but that's how it goes. But it's you got to find the kids. Like you really got to find the kids that like ball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't like ball, they're going to get caught in that other stuff. And that's when you're going to lose them. Right. I like glitz and glamour. Oh, I like the followers I get when I talk about this school. You know what I'm saying? It's not. So you got to find the kids that are locked in on ball and, you know what I mean? And just make sure you can tell them. Because I'm going to keep them 100 with you. Like, you're not going to get that car salesman over here. That's not how we're not going. You know what I mean? We about development over here. There's proof in the development, and we just going to go from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had a 4th round pick that was a walk-on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's development. That's not taking a 4 or 5 star and then pushing him along. No, that's showing him the way, getting him prepared, go to the Senior Bowl, show them he can play ball and go from there. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about, I'm going to keep it 100 with the parents. This is what they're going to get when they're here. It's never the performer, it's the performance. I'm going to coach them hard. You know what I'm saying? If they follow this blueprint that I got, we should be successful. So I just try to keep it real with them and keep it a buck. But you got to find the ones that want that, because a lot of people want that other stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so that's the thing. It's a tough line because sometimes you could think you got one that like, yeah, he's bought in. He's about this like real ball, and then at the last second he's over here doing this because he's into a little bit more than just really wanting to play football. You know what I'm saying? Some people want riding the wave, and it's just a different time, like you said. Hey, you got to remember these kids, celebrities coming out of high school now.
I was just about to ask you that. That was the next question out of my mouth. That star system, right? I didn't even know how that star system worked, right? So I would, you know what I'm saying, like just coaching last year, you know what I'm saying, doing the whole big man competitions and all that stuff. Like one of my kids who is at Arizona State now, was our starting center last year, right? Probably the biggest center you ever seen in your life in high school. He was 6'5" and weighed about 300 pounds, right? So this kid, he's telling me, he was like, you know what I'm saying, like, coach. So he mentioned, he was like, this is how cats get their stars. I'm like, hold on, what? So me, and if you watch Hog Talk, I don't really like these, I call them rah-rah camps. So these exposure camps, I hate them. The fucking what's it called? The when you get the opening. Oh, that's probably the worst shit I've ever seen in my life, right? And I coached at the opening a couple times when I was out there in Cali, and like the first time I did it, I was just kind of like fell back because like all these dudes is just hooping and hollering, and I'm not like, what are y'all hollering about? This kid. He snatched this kid to the ground. Like, so I'm just speaking about offensive line play. He snatched this kid to the ground and get up beating his chest. Motherfucker, that's holding, right? And you gonna get called for that, right? Why are y'all praising this kid for doing that? He got beat clearly snatched the dude to the ground. That's holding, right? The second time I coached, I walked off. I don't even want to finish this shit, right? So how that word celebrity, and I say the same thing. I'm like, well, these kids is famous. Like the kid Thibodeau that went to Oregon, right? I was out in California around the time he was playing. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to see him play at Narbonne, and I'm like, I mean not Narbonne, but out at Oaks, right? Thousand Oaks. He was out there at that school. I'm like, yo, this dude's a monster, right? But then my son showed me on social media, this dude got like 100,000 followers. Like, you got enough followers to be getting sponsors, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? Like, you know what I'm saying? Have you dealt with kids that have, because like social media will give you money, right? For having so many followers. Like, so our kids, I mean, first of all, the egos, right? Have you had to check a couple kids? Like I said, I know you, all right? Have you had to bring a couple kids back down to reality? Check a couple of them and make them understand, because I know I have myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a damn how many stars you got, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to show and prove every Friday night. Like, you know what I'm saying? So how you had to deal with that, man?
It's just once they get here, then you got to start working on that part.
Right.
I mean, that's when you get it, because then they can start understanding, like, look, everybody here was you.
Right.
Don't get it twisted like you the only one that's done this. Like, this is a system this train has been running, and it's going to keep going.
Exactly.
It's just, the kids really got to focus on, like, what got you to this point, you know? Don't get confused in like, football opens doors for you. Mm-hmm. Don't think that, you know, like, remember, keep the main focus the main focus, you know, because football opens some other doors, and you might go into them doors and just start veering away from football now. Right. You know, because you're just focused on that, and you think that that's what it is, but you need to get back to football and lock in on ball. So I make sure I just try to keep it real with my guys and let them know, like, look, I know you're gonna have other interests and stuff, and because it's football's open and stuff for you, but if you keep football the main focus, you'll have opportunity to get to all of that stuff and everything else. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of guys, like, football, you got an expiration date. You like milk. You just don't know your date.
Better know.
Nobody knows, you know what I'm saying? You don't know your date, but you want to expire.
Right.
Jerry Rice played, what, 20 years? Jerry went out there, you know what I'm saying? Played 20 years. He's going to be a regular person longer than he was a football player. Right. And he played 20. You feel me? For everybody else, you need to make sure that you have a plan after football, but let's make sure that we get everything out of ball that we can right now. Right. You know what I mean? Because anything else that you want to do in life, it doesn't end. You want to be a rapper, you want to do this, you want to do clothing, you want to open it, all that doesn't end. You can do that whenever. But football will end. This window is closing each day. Every day you wake up, that window closes a little bit more.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know. You know, I know.
Exactly. So I'll be just trying to tell my boys from experience, learning from myself, my homies, just anything that can help them. You know what I'm saying? So I try to lean on that a lot, but it's tough when you get the kids that football isn't what's pushing them. Right. Yeah. That's when I'll start having problems. Like, okay, so you don't really like ball. Right. Right. You just you like the things that come along with it.